the Lord this morning. Get started off with our prayer request list. We got Wanda and Ronnie Payne, Katie Walker, Carol Epperson, Daniel Smith, Louise Atkins, Pauline Johnson, Ruben Vasquez, Joe Nelson, Maybelle Nelson, Curtis Nelson, Philomeno Benella, Wendy, Jerry and Bonnie Shropshire, Ted Chaplin, Lee Atkins, Mike Atkins, Dale Drew, been deployed, Ronnie and Christy Davis. Put some prayers out for Ronnie. He is down with his back. He's supposed to be going to a chiropractor, and they're going to start twisting and poking on him. Cody Pepinos, Justin Pepinos, Thurman Potts and wife, Pauline Webster, Ricky Allen, Peggy Ardner, Mike Donathan, Eric Norman, Sandra Walker, Jamie Davis, Daniel, all the churches all around. We all need prayers in our churches. We need people to start coming back to our churches. Patsy Quisenberry, Esther Haynes, Anna Blevins, Mike Gravely, Dana, Jesse Dawson, Larry Norman, and he is at the church up in Stone Mountain Park today. They have called him back to start coming up there and doing some preaching for us. It's pray for him and his ministry up there. Mike Walker, Zach Chrisman, Dana Childers, Billy, Evan Leah Mitten, Mary Williamson, Barbara Hutchins, Shauna Atkins. Any other outspoken requests?
You mentioned Adelaide. I got a message this morning that says she's waking up in pain, screaming out loud. They're hoping and praying it's nothing serious. I think it may just be long taking her back to not country.
Yeah.
They said, remember her.
Put an extra prayer for Evan Leah. She is going through childhood leukemia, and she is having some pain sharp enough that it's waking her up. She's crying and screaming at night. So just pray for that little girl. Any other outspoken requests?
In our church.
Remember our church. Remember our family. We got lost in it. We got some that's, if they have been saved, they have backslid. We got some people that's fell away from the church. Pray for them. Got some that used to be faithful members, and you hardly ever see them anymore. Any other outspoken requests? Send a special prayer up for Jose. He's been having some toothache issues. As somebody used to have teeth, I know what he's going through. When them tooth starts hurting, it takes everything out of you. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity we had to be in your house this morning. And ask you to just bless those that's come out to be with us, those that are watching. Bless the services this morning, Lord. Bless the preacher as he comes to preach. Ask you to bless the preacher this evening as he comes to preach for us. Bless the ministries. Lord, just open doors up for them. Ask you to touch the sick, touch our prayer request list, Lord. Ask you a special prayer for Jose, a special prayer for Evan Leah. Ask you just touch them, Lord. Ask you to bless the service, bless the church. We thank you for us in Jesus' name. Amen. I forgot to mention that one's picking me up on here. Yeah, I forgot to mention pray for Katie Walker. She's been having a rough go of it. Let's get started in Bible study this morning, or Sunday school. I was studying on Psalms 37 last night. And a lot of times I'll go back to certain verses in Psalms 37 because it's one of my favorite chapters. I think we should all have a favorite verse and a favorite chapter, and I'm going to jump over and read my favorite verse right now while they're turning theirs. Psalms 119, verse 169. And I've used this to someone that said it was easier for them to understand some of the other translations of the Bible. 169 simply reads, if you want to understand King James Version Bible, here's what you need to do. It's in the Bible. Let my cry come near and near before thee, O Lord. Give me understanding according to thy word. You want to understand it? First, you got to come to the realization that you need Jesus Christ in your heart. And when you get saved, start studying this word. Ask God to help you understand it. Psalms 37. First verse says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Now, I done a little bit of putting some stuff together last night. Had to start over a couple of times because of grandbabies. I wouldn't trade the world for them. The first word in that verse is fret. And no, it's not the fret on a guitar. And if you don't know what a fret on a guitar is, it's where they put their fingers at to hit the notes. Those are the frets. Fret here in the Bible says, fret not thyself because of evildoers. The definition of fret here, being constantly worried. That is the definition of fret. King David wrote the Psalms, and he says, fret not thyself because of evildoers. Neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. Verse 2, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Now, for those of you that don't use a sweeper or anything on your yard after you cut the grass, all of the clippings from where you mowed lays there on top, and by the end of the day, it's already started turning brown from where it no longer has root. That's a good example for a Christian that has started walking away from the Lord. They start to wither a little bit. We are to be planted in this word. We have examples of good seed, bad seed, where it was cast on the ground. Some fell on good ground, some fell on stony ground. But we are to be rooted into this word. We should be able to go to a certain verse in the Bible and quote it. I would hope 90% of us or better could hope to quote John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Not one of his sons, but his only begotten Son. We should be able to quote verses in this Bible at the whim. Like my favorite verse, chapter 169, chapter 119, verse 169. One of my favorites. I can quote it. Everybody here should be able to quote a verse out of the Bible. If you want to start off small, there is a 2-word verse in the Bible. Even a child could remember that one. Jesus wept. I'll leave it up to you to go find that one. Back to Psalms 37. Verse 3. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Trust in the Lord. Believe that he will meet your needs. Let's go backwards a little bit. Verse 2, verse 1. Don't be envious of what the workers of iniquity out here have. I'm sure we'd all love to have a new car. We'd all love to have a new house. But we don't have to be envious of what they have, because the things here on this earth, they're going to fade away. They're going to start showing their age. Nails are going to start pulling through. Cars are going to start breaking down. You're going to have to constantly make repairs on them. But lay your treasures up in heaven, where moth and rust and anything in this world can't get to them. Verse 3 says, trust in the Lord. And here's a verse that sometimes is misused. Verse 4 says, Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Again, don't be envious of that new car or that fancy house. Don't delight yourself in the Lord just because that's what you want. I've seen some cases where people came to church, and pretty much basically the only thing they prayed for was that house. Well, they went in debt for it and couldn't barely afford it, but they went in debt for it, and once the bank note and everything went through and they got the new house, they quit coming to church. I would love to have a boat. But if I go in debt for a boat, that means I got to work a little bit longer to pay that payment. I may not be here in church. So I'm okay without the boat. It says, delight thyself also in the Lord. That's the key verse to that whole verse right there. That's the key part of that verse. Delight thyself also in the Lord. That should be your first desire. Not that car, not that house, but the Lord. And he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Your heart should be on the Lord. That's where your desires should lay. Verse 5 says, commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. All of these other little things, they'll probably follow you. You probably won't have a new car, but you'll have a new-to-you car. You won't have a new house, but you'll have a new-to-you house if that's what you need. Keyword need. Because God says he will meet our needs. That's pretty much where Psalm 37 talks about, trusting in the Lord. Verse 6, and he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Delight yourself in the Lord, commit thy way. Verse 6, and he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently. Verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently. I dare to say that there's anything out here that we want, we don't wait on the Lord. We try to help him along. I'm going to say every one of us is guilty of it at one time or another. Didn't feel like God was moving fast enough, so we just stepped in and tried to help him a little bit and make it go a little faster. That's usually when it blows up in your face. That's usually when you have to start working longer hours to cover what you wasn't patient about. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prosperous in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. So verse 7 covers 1 through 6. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Verse 8. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. Now I know there has been times in my life that I have been mad, angry at what people has done in the church. I have been mad and angry at what people's done out in the world. But we don't need to dwell on that anger and dwell on that envious or whatever. Verse 6 says, cease from anger. You ever seen a duck swimming in the water? There ain't no water on the duck's back, is there? That's where an old saying comes from. Let these troubles and let these angers run away from you, just like running water off a duck's back. Verse 9, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. Wait patiently on the Lord. Don't try to rush his plan along. And the evildoers shall be cut off. If you're waiting patiently on the Lord, you will inherit the earth. That's what the Bible tells us here. Verse 10, for yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt. Let me try it again. Verse 10, for yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. For the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. We're to be the meek. If we want to have any part with God, we have to be the meek. Verse 12, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow, to cast down the poor and the needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. We should all be leaning on verse 16. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many. If you ever ask, why won't God give me $1 million? Can God trust you with it? You say, oh, I would do this and I would do this and I would do that if I had all that money. Could God trust you to do everything you say you would do with that money? Or would you go out here and buy that old car because you love that old car? Would you go out here and buy that fancy house because you like that fancy house? Or would you help the needy? Would you feed somebody that didn't have any food? Would you do for others before you done for yourself? Can God trust you? I dare to say that if I had $1 million, I say I would have the church's parking lot paved. I'd put a new roof on the church. I say that'd probably be the first things I'd do. All the first things I'd probably go collect the winnings and go buy a car, go buy new clothes. Everything you say you're going to do for the Lord starts getting pushed down because you want to put yourself in the way. I think that's why some of us don't win or don't have $1 million, because God can't trust us with it. But if you just lean on verse 16, I read it again. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. I don't think I have a rich uncle that's going to leave me $1 million on this side of eternity, but I got a rich father who's going to give me everything on the other side. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. Get a good look. I ain't missed many meals. Good Lord has blessed me with my needs. We got a car out there that runs good. The Lord is blessing it. It might break down before we get out of the parking lot, but it's been a blessing to me and my family. The Lord is blessing us beyond compare, and sometimes that's the problem. When the Lord starts blessing us, well, we just start wanting more. Just be happy with what you got. And I'm going to be the first one to say, sometimes I gripe about not being able to go out and do as much fishing as I want to, not being being able to go out and buy the guns and ammunition and stuff like that. But I got fishing rods at home. I got guns at home. I got some ammunition. The Lord's taking care of me. I got a roof over my head. I got running water. It's It's got a little rust in the water, but it's running. The good Lord's going to bless me eventually to where I can get the rust problem fixed. But the wicked, verse 20, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of the lambs. They shall consume. Into smoke shall they consume away. The wicked borroweth and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they shall be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I'm going to fall. It's how I get up that determines what kind of man I am. When I see that I have fallen, I cry out to the Lord. In verse 24, I'll read that again. For though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. This is where I'm getting at on it. For the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. So when I've fallen, I'll cry out to the Lord, and he'll help me back up. I will not be utterly cast down. Verse 25, I have been young. Ouch. Verse 25, for I have been young, and now am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. He is ever merciful, and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. Depart from evil, and do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his own saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. Verse 29, for the righteous shall inherit the land, and dwell therein forever. My inheritance lays in heaven, and that's what I'm going to inherit. I don't have no new cars laid up in heaven. I got a new mansion. Jesus done said he's going to prepare a mansion for us. I may not live there very long. I'll be too busy out on the street of gold praising God. I've always said it as kind of a joke. When I get to heaven, I want to be a mortician, an undertaker. That way I can put a sign up over my door that says, closed, temporarily, completely out of business, serving God forever. Verse 30, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The law of his God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watcheth the righteous, and seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord, and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I mean, we still see it today, these people that seems to have all the riches of the land and such, and then next thing you know, they're broke. Verse 36. No, 35. I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end that man is peace. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength. He is their strength in time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them, because they trust in him. Chapter 37, I get the point of it. Don't be worried about what other people have, especially those that don't believe in God, don't worship God. Don't be envious of what they have. They're not going to take it with them. You're never going to see a U-Haul back up to a grave and unload everything they got in that U-Haul trailer into that grave. The only thing that's going in that grave is a vault and a casket. And then 4 or 5 foot of dirt right on top of it. So if that rich man wants to be buried in a casket that cost it $1 million, he's throwing $1 million in a hole and burying it. Just put me in a shoe box or pine box, whichever. I can't take nothing with me that goes in that grave. When the good Lord calls me home, the only thing you're going to put in that ground is this body. I'm going home to be with the Lord. So don't worry about what they have. Don't be envious of what they have, because they will never have what you have. Continue to trust in the Lord. Continue to be patient on the Lord. Stop trying to rush his plans along and just let him have victory over your life. That is all I've got for this study. I'm going to close out, and then we'll start back up with the preacher when he gets here. That'll be Brother Mason Martin. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity we had to come before you. I ask you to continue touching this church and blessing it. Bless the preachers that come our way, Lord. Bless their ministries. I ask you to put your hands of grace and love upon them, Lord, and just bless them, watch over them. I ask you to touch our sick in our church, those that are going through cancers, toothaches, just body aches, old age, whatever it may be, Lord. Just give them comfort and grace to get through it. We ask you to just continue touching them and blessing.